Hi guys, it's Kim,
And I'm Lola.
and welcome back to Turn the Page, the podcast where two sisters catch up over books, reviews, and all the juicy bits in between. So Lola, what's the plan for today?
So today we have pick and mix. We're gonna have a remix of plot points. We're trying something new. So we'll start off
Mhm.
with story time by Kim. Story.
Story.
Time, girl.
I'm sure that's not it. I'm sure it's not
No,
it.
text that right
Mm.
now. Um, and then I will do a character breakdown. Then we'll go do the old plot points, how we used to do it, and then we'll have last thoughts and then read receipts.
Coolio. Alrighty, so we're talking about My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. So if you're a first-time listener, please note you don't have to have read the book or even be a reader to enjoy our catch-ups. You can just enjoy the ride. Well, we'll see if you enjoy the ride because you'll see how we feel about this book. Alrighty.
Pick and mix time. Let's get ready. Let's get ready. Let's get ready to generate. 3.
All right, number 3 is a versus. Are you a messy or tidy reader? So, do you highlight, annotate? Do you use bookmarks? Do you crease the bindings? Do you like flip the corner of the page? What do you do? Are you a messy or tidy reader?
I'm a tidy reader. I don't even bend the spine, so I will read the book like this, breaking my neck and everything, just so I don't bend the spine. I've seen this clip about how to break a spine so that you don't break a spine. Basically, you actually just bend every page like this, and I'm like, nah, I'm not even testing that. So, I do make notes in a separate notebook, and I do write in a book. The only thing I used to do is if someone gives me a book is I write in the first like on the inside of the book the date and the situation, and I stole that from my dad, who actually writes in every single book the date he gets a book. So
that is actually a nice idea. It's like I got this book on this date and it was for like a birthday or something or yeah, that's actually quite a good idea. I think I'm a messy reader.
You
I'm a
write
messy
on a
reader.
book?
I don't write because I'm not here doing studies. I don't want to, yeah, so I don't write on the book, but I do in the corners, I do use those as bookmarks. I'm
You bend the
terrible at that.
corners.
I do bend the
That's so
corners.
disgusting. I hate when even just normal notebooks just ripple and bend like that. I'll be there
Yeah,
obsessively unfolding that. How can you
yeah,
do
sometimes I
that?
do
You
the
dog
corners.
ears. Get a bookmark, man. I'll
Oh,
make you
sometimes I
one.
use a random piece of paper as a bookmark.
Yeah,
I'll
envelope,
use like
anything.
an envelope or
Yeah.
like a letter or something as like a bookmark. And I do open the book properly because all of this, like you said, like opening the book a tad. I'm just like, as some books are really difficult, especially
and you'll be hurting your hand
softback.
trying to like get the right angle, especially if it's a
Yeah.
chunker. Yeah.
I'm there like with my thumbs close together, trying to like, get to the beginning of a sentence, and I'm just I can't see it. There's what book is it that I had to just because I was trying not to because it's quite a chunky book. It's the second of the Akata series, but it got to near the end and it gets to a point where it's just silly because the book keeps closing on you. So I was like, nah,
Yes.
nah.
And then sometimes it'll just fall in your face or something.
Yeah, and I'm just like, no. It was pissing me off. So I just stretched that book, boy. Then you can see all the lines in the spot. I was like, oh, that's sad, but I had to do it.
But then
So yeah, I'm a
it's
messy
got
reader.
character as well, actually. I just wouldn't want it for my books. But for your bookshelf, it'll give the books character.
Yeah, it looks like it's been read, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're reading hardback books with,
I take the sleeves off.
Yeah, do you take the sleeve?
Yeah, I take the sleeves off.
Yeah, I take the sleeve and dash it to the side.
No, sometimes I actually use the sleeves as a bookmark.
Oh, smart.
Yeah.
Smart. So for example, even with this book, I just dash the sleeve to the side because it's one of those sleeves that just slide on and off
paperback.
anyway.
Let me see what it looks like without the sleeve.
Without the sleeve, it's
pretty?
That's the annoying thing though. No, it's not.
Pointless. Like the
Yeah,
content.
it's just black. Oh, I heard that shade. I heard that shade. But yeah, because I think once you've got people use a sleeve as like a quick, and it's probably an easier way to manufacture the books or produce the books, but you have to put something on the actual
Did I show you the names? That's on our list to read. But did I show you? I got you on hardback. You should get it too because it's only available in hardback right now, and it's so pretty.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, let me send it.
Does it have a sleeve?
Yeah, yes. But when you take the sleeve off, it's so pretty. And this is the kind of stuff I like. Yeah, exactly.
Is it the one with the colored pages?
No. It's the one where the video where I've got that fur hat on at the end.
Oh. It looks. What's this hat like? It's like is it Jamiroquai?
It gives me a ski. I feel like I'm a rich woman on a ski resort. That's the vibe. Oh, I feel like Faith Evans. That's the vibe.
That is the vibe. That was it for Pick and Mix.
Yeah.
Club points.
So, as Lola highlighted earlier, we are switching it up a bit. So, I'm going to give you a very brief blurb about the book, Kim Style. And this is where, if Lola hadn't read the book, how would I describe the book? And then Lola will go into the characters as she usually does. And then I will flesh out a bit more about the story. Spoilers ahead if you haven't read the book and you want to read the book, okay? Story. Once upon a time. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes.
Right, you know.
Thank you. Guys, just so you're aware, me and Lola have been having this debate about this phrase. And she was like, it's story, time.
Just he was story, time.
Nah, it's not that.
Oh my gosh. I still low key.
I don't know who told you that one. It's story. It's once upon a time, or what did I even say? I've said it correctly before.
Yeah.
So this is the story. So this is a novel set in Nigeria, Lagos, about two sisters. The elder sister, who is apparently not as good looking as her younger sister, had an underlying resentment for her pretty younger sister, who has a tendency to kill off her boyfriends instead of breaking up with them. So they have this weird dynamic where the elder sister helps dispose of the bodies, and this goes on till her younger sister sets her sights on her work crush, as in the older sister's work crush. And then you've got what's going to happen. So Lola, if you hadn't read the book, is that a good summary of the book?
Yeah. Perfect. Literally summed it up. Nice and quick. I thought we were going to have a little bit more.
That's the end of the podcast, guys.
Normally, so that this new section, Kim's very good at storytelling. Even everyone in the family loves when she has stories to tell from school days, actually, because she's very good at imitating voices and just putting Kim's spin on things. But this book doesn't have good material to go off of. So
for real, sorry guys. I wish I could have done it for Piranesi because I'm sure that would actually because
it would have been interesting. It would have been really interesting hearing your version. Yeah,
it's so sad to go from that book to this book, but let me not get into my thoughts.
Yeah.
All right, Lola, give us the characters, please.
Okay, so we have the main characters are Korede, which is the protagonist and the narrator. She's the head nurse, and she becomes the head nurse. She's a nurse with a very obsessive tidy, and rule-abiding nature. It's not really rule-abiding; it's just judgmental, dictatorial. But she is, because she's not really following the rules, isn't it? She is overshadowed by her sister's beauty, according to her only, though, and has a history of protecting Ayoola, a role that defines her identity. Well, I think that she's obsessed, but anyways, like you said, we're not going to go into our last thoughts just yet. And then you have, speak of the devil, Ayoola. So Kim's Korede and I'm Ayoola.
Oh, thanks very much.
No, I'm joking, but Kim's the older sister, and actually I would say we're actually the opposite in this regard, isn't it? If we had to be one or the other.
True. I think I would call you to help me get rid of bodies.
Yeah, and I'm like obsessive with the cleaning and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So anyway, I'm not judgmental though, like I'm very living. Anyway. Korede's younger sister, who's effortlessly beautiful and frequently murders her boyfriends. She's portrayed as self-centered.
It's kind of breaking up with them, I might add. That's an easier way to do this, but who am I?
She is portrayed as self-centered and uses her looks to manipulate those around her. Then we have supporting characters. So we have Tade, a handsome and kind doctor who works at Korede's hospital. He falls for Ayoola. Whatless man. He falls for Ayoola, which puts him in danger. Then we have Mukta, because when it's HT, isn't it? Mukta?
I don't know if it is. I was just calling Mukta, but maybe you're right. Maybe there's a Oh gosh, sorry guys, apologies.
Because they were Muslim, innit? So I don't know. Mukhtar, a comatose patient at the hospital whom Korede visits to vent her frustrations and secrets. From the start, you knew where this was going. Femi, a boyfriend of Ayula's who ends up dead. We'll get into it. But a boyfriend of Ayula's who ends up dead leads into the events of the novel. Starting the events of the novel, to be honest. The mother is mostly passive, defining Korede by her role as Ayula's helper. So I don't think that's a good description of her, but yeah, okay. And then we have the father. So the reason why it's called the mother and the father, so that's how they're referred to in the book. And we get frequent chapters throughout the book, literally just called father. The father, a frightening and abusive man from whom Korede had to protect Ayula during their childhoods. And that is the main characters and supporting characters. So shall we get into the book?
Kind of start off with Femi, who is the third victim of Ayola. I'm going to call her Ayo because I don't feel like I've ever seen this name written like this.
No.
So every time I was trying to say it, it just seemed really weird because it's for our Nigerians and everybody else. It's Ayo and Ola together.
I've never seen them that as a full name though.
Yeah, so I was a bit like, every time I was saying, is that Ayola? Is that how we say it, or just Ayola? Like, so I've just decided to call it Ayo, just to not get rid of my Nigerian card. All right, so we start with Ayo, who calls her big sis Korede for help. Who, like Lola says, she's the narrator of this book. We never get a narration from anyone else in this book, which I think would have been quite nice, in my opinion, if we got a narration from even, I don't know, Tade, you know, like somebody outside of it.
Because Korede is helpful. So judgmental. It's so annoying to hear it from her point of view.
She's quite unhelpful. Like, you know, you're just like why is this happening? Pointing
out all these things, but being like you're actually funneling the what's that thing? Enabler. She's actually an enabler.
She's a definite enabler because you can't kill more than one person and expect them to keep helping you.
And detach herself, but every time you're the one coming, you're an accomplice. You're in the crime. You've committed a crime too. You're an accomplice. You would go to jail too. Anyway.
Yeah, definitely. So I love that's like the first sentence. So apologies guys. Korede comes to help clean up after Ayo has killed her boyfriend of 1 month. By the way, they were celebrating their 1 month anniversary.
We found that out. You don't find that until later in. When I said what?
In it, she's not playing around. And to be fair, as serial killers do, the speed at which they kill their victims does ramp up because, you know, that's not spoiler alert, she does kill again. She's killed her boyfriend of 1 month. His name is Femi, and he's basically the trigger for this book, I think. Ayo doesn't actually help Korede clean up, but does that whole, you know, are you mad at me thing whilst Korede is cleaning. Korede cleans the place meticulously. She's a bit of a clean freak, as Lola's highlighted. And when she tries to find out what happened, Ayo just says that he was coming for her.
Yeah, she didn't try that hard. Because when she did eventually start asking questions, I said, like, you're asking now? I actually wrote that down. Like,
it was like after
now?
she cleaned, isn't it? Yeah, like, after... were they even?
No, it was like way later. It was way later. She was like, oh, she finally asked questions. I think it was because she started talking to Tade that she started asking questions. I said, what?
No, she asked her the first initial question. Like, it was just what happened. And then she keeps pushing it later. Like, for example, when she's like posting on Instagram and doing some, she keeps trying to get more information.
I didn't feel like she asked real questions until after that scene when she goes to work wearing makeup.
That was far, Lola. That was far.
Because I actually wrote it down. Like, she finally asked the key questions about Femi.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure she says, or maybe Ayo just says, he was coming for me. It was self-defense.
Because she said, oh, this is the first time. She started explaining it herself. She was like, this is the first time I've never known the guy. So that's why she felt really bad about this one. Because she kind of could justify the other ones because they were bad men. But this one, she didn't seem to think anything. I hasn't heard anything bad about him. His place is very clean, so that appealed to her.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, I've even written in my notes. You could tell that Korede doesn't feel this is right. As you can see, she knows that it's not self-defense because, you know, the guy was stabbed numerous times. But like you said, she doesn't push. She kind of just comes
later on that he stabbed her.
Does it?
She stabbed him in the back as well.
Yeah, exactly. So how was it self-defense? Korede does clock that Ayo's not emotional about this. She doesn't even know Femi's last name. So this is how much it's like, she don't know this man. They wrap up the body like a mummy to take the body down to Korode's car. They take the lift and they almost get caught because a young mother is trying to catch the lift and they're just like, nah. So they press the button and leave her. They get rid of the body by throwing it over a bridge. So we go on to find out a bit more about how Korede behaves at work. And I swear, if I worked with Korede, I would be fed up with her too.
Yeah, so like you get an introduction, boom, into this scene. Like, and then you get a background into the narrator. And I was like, okay, so the main character is a clean freak, judgmental, snarky bitch. Literally right off the bat, that's the vibe I got. It. Like
you don't like her.
You don't.
And I thought you're supposed to like her or feel sorry for her.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be her. I think it was supposed to be her, but I actually don't. I actually was more Ayo, like, well, let her do her thing. She wants to go kill people. Mind your business.
Ayo's living her best life. Like, you could.
It has nothing to do with you. Yeah, you're getting involved every time. Why? Everyone's saying two people come out. Why?
So at work, Korede is that co-worker that doesn't seem to have fun. She's quite strict with her co-workers, apart from good old Tade. She doesn't really mingle with them. She does seem like she's like above them. There is a patient, like Lola's highlighted, in the hospital who's in a coma, who is called Mota, who she uses as a confidant. She tells him everything that's going on, and everything. You know, if you've watched any true crime or any story in the history of stories, you know this is probably a bad idea. Back at home, Ayo is going on like nothing's happened, while this killing seems to have stuck with Korede because she keeps thinking about it. And like Lola said, I think it's because she's kind of like, she doesn't know much about him. She can see from the house he lives in or the flat that he lives in that he seems like a good guy. And I think he's into poetry.
Yeah, that's it.
Because he gifted Ayo a poem for their 1 month anniversary or something. This seems to hit her a bit harder than I guess.
And the family make
people
a blog because so in Nigeria, the police, you kind of have to have some kind of sway to get anything happening. So actually any country, it's just the same way like people do have to put things in the media. So to get attention, so the family are basically doing that. They're showing like, look, this guy didn't just disappear. He's not gonna run away. He's not just gonna go missing like this. He's not gonna kill himself. He's not gonna do anything to harm himself. He's a kind-hearted, beautiful man. So they started releasing all these poems on a blog. The sister, I think it was.
Yeah, it was the sister. There is a hashtag for the missing Femi, which is getting some traction. So this is also another thing, like Lola's highlighting, that it needed to be in social media because for everybody else, they're seeing it as Femi's missing, whereas obviously we know that poor Femi's passed away. Ayo decides to pick up herself with Femi, which Korede thinks is stupid as it draws attention, which is...
Dude, she kept doing little things like this. You actually want to give your sister a heart attack. I think you just love the fact that your sister... Yeah, no, I think she was just like, well, you got involved in this. Let's make this fun.
She's just like, okay, and what? Like, okay. I think it's also because she knows.
We're sharing the burden.
Like, I know you're going to be involved somehow. You're not going to let me do something stupid. Yeah, that's cool. So we meet the girl's mother, who dotes on Ayo as the favourite. And it's portrayed that it's because she's a pretty one. Interestingly enough, we never know the mother's name, but I was thinking about this because I had to take myself out of it. I'd be like, yeah, well, obviously we don't know the mother's name because in Nigerian culture,
respect,
like you don't just call each other like, I don't know, Kim and Lola. You don't call your mum that. So
I actually didn't
remember that this is from the narrator's point of view,
and I didn't notice it until I was doing the character list. I was like, oh yeah, they didn't get names.
And because when I was reading up about it, people were just like, oh, like the mother's like a passive figure that's just there for A, B, and C. You know this because she's not given a name. I was like, nah, it's about culture. This is from the narrator's point of view. A Nigerian woman, she's not going to call her mother by name.
I don't even think she's even a plot device. She is just there, to be honest.
She's actually just there. She's not a plot device. She doesn't move the story along.
Yeah, there's so many missing gaps that could have been fleshed out. Like, anyway, we'll get into it. But that's one of the things where she is very empty.
And even when you do start to see some depth into like their backstory, like for example, when
the father
find out about her relationship with the father, I was a bit like,
it was still patchy as well.
Yeah. and how does this impact you? Like, I don't know, but yeah. So like I've said about the mother's name, it's culture. That's why we don't get to know her name, and also we don't get to know the father's name. And at this point, this is where we inform the mother that Femi is missing. And we only I think it was only kind of said begrudgingly, because I was thinking, does she even know that Femi is Ayo's boyfriend? But I think she didn't she? And that's why they said it, like, oh, like Femi's gone missing or something. Because Korode's still losing her mind over this death. She's driving to work, and one of these dodgy police officers pulls her up in traffic.
What was this scene?
Yeah,
it was so. Anyway, let's break it down, and then I'll say something. Because I was like, what was this scene?
I just felt like this was just to show corruption in Nigeria, personally, because I found this was unnecessary.
But it's like, we were going there, but then we're not going there, then we're going there, and I was like, what was the point of this? Yeah, there was there were certain bits, and it was just like so it can be relevant to Nigerian culture.
Just to highlight we are in Nigeria. So she gets stopped by a dodgy police officer on her drive to work, and because she doesn't want to raise suspicion or get taken to the police station, she gives him a bribe just to like rush him away. And then after this, she's because of all of this, stressful getting to work, and obviously Nigerian traffic, she's aggy at work. But to me, she always seems to be aggy, because when she's talking to the people at work, they're kind of looking at her like, what sticks up your ass again? Like, why are you so pissed off?
They were waiting for a lick back.
And they're like there's one, I can't remember their name.
Yeah, I can't remember, but one of them was waiting for a chance. She always had quick lines, boy.
She's ready for her. She's like, I'm gonna look for your stress today. You can tell she cusses her out. So after a day at work, she comes home, and again, good old Ayo's living her best life. Korede wants to know. And they make her seem quite
stupid,
hippie like in some places,
like dopey.
And I'm just like, oh yeah, like a fairy. Like, life is great. Korede wants the knife that Ayo used to kill Femi, which Ayo refuses to hand over. So thinking back on this is how you know it's premeditated, or unless she's carrying this knife everywhere, the knife actually belongs to their dead father. That's an interesting thing, I thought. I was like, maybe she is just being a serial killer, but we don't really go into too much detail about that.
Yeah, so this is where we start the father chapters a little bit more. So she goes into this, I don't know, backstory, because it's not really a flashback or anything. It's like a background information about the knife. It's like a zombie knife, like a really big knife. And
didn't you find it was quite, sorry to interrupt you, didn't you find it was quite weird how she would just have like a random terrible father story
and
in
then
between
just explain the next chapter. And it's like, this isn't filling the gaps though. That was my question, because it's like, okay, all of a sudden he's this horrible, abusive scammer.
That gets even worse as it goes on. But
The trust is
carry on.
Anyway, this is like, it's this big knife, and then she starts explaining her dad's character. So depending on who he's talking to, he has a different story about the knife. It's 3 stories, and he chooses between the 3, and she explains the different stories. All of them involve some kind of make him sound like some big tough man and whatever. And she then, in the midst of this story, to summarize this, she's basically explaining, this is what I got from that though, that she's basically explaining that the night, it's not her sister's fault. So up until this point, you kind of feel like she resents her sister. She resents the world. She resents everyone, but she resents her sister particularly. And she's framing that in that she's her sister's keeper, and she loves her sister. She has to look out for her, but she really resents her. But when you get to this point, it's kind of like, hold on a second. She's making excuses for her sister. She's saying it's the knife's fault. The knife has some kind of power, like it draws you to it, because even his dad used to always have to bring it out, and that was like a thing to show, blah blah blah. So it's kind of like she was trying to make excuses, like maybe it's because her sister took this knife, and rightfully so, because then she justifies how her sister took the knife and all of this stuff. So it's kind of like, okay, you don't really hate your sister, you've got some complications about the father, but we never really get into that.
You're right. It's just when you say it like that, because I even forgot that she was using the knife as because the knife is evil and my sister's got the knife, that's why she's out here killing people. I'm just like, but then later on as we go on,
she just touches on it. I don't think she uses it as an excuse, but she considers it. You're right, it's more of a consideration, because she's trying to justify that her behavior. Because
I thought that at one point, then I was just like, hold on, because of when we go, spoiler alert, when she kills somebody else, she doesn't use a knife. So that's why I was a bit like, okay, maybe that's
and then
not
the sister
actually a
starts to
thing.
think, has she been doing it more than the times that she knows about?
Which I was thinking, because it's kind of like a tip of the iceberg thing, isn't it?
And that's generally, they say that women use poisons and things. That's how women commit murder. And then, sorry, also one thing I wanted to touch about. So on this, when she's talking about her sister, she says something like, it takes her the time it takes paper to burn. Like, she's very quick to move on. And she talks about the fact that she burned something else about her father. We're going to talk about it later, but when they killed someone else, they burnt the place down.
Her first boyfriend.
Yeah, so there's this underlying tone that Korode is also a pyromaniac, like really obsessed with fire. And I think it's that whole cleanliness thing of trying to cleanse something, make it new. Like, I don't know. I thought that's what that was, because the book has good points, but it just wasn't executed well. Because even the sister's character, she was a decent character, actually. I did not like her, but it was just too cliche. Like the manipulative, and when she took the blame for her sister and didn't say anything about it, I was like, that scene is so, like, you've seen that scene 1,000 times. But anyway, I'm jumping forwards. Go ahead, jump back in, Kim.
Alrighty. And apologies about the way I'm doing this. I felt, because it's like, because the way the book is written in like chapters, like every chapter seems to be like a different scene. So that's kind of how I'm explaining it.
Every page, because every chapter is a page. So it's like very, but it doesn't feel choppy, but it's just, that's why it's so empty. Like this.
Yeah, because when you're reading it, it makes it quicker to read. But when I was recapping it, because I was writing my notes to do this section, and I was just like,
it doesn't flow.
So this paragraph is about this, and then this paragraph is now we're here, and I'm just like, oh, this actually doesn't flow very well. We see their dynamic a bit more in regards to how both siblings are treated, as their mother randomly decides to ask Korode to teach Ayo how to cook, who's obviously not interested in this, because they have a house girl.
Sorry,
but
hold on. Bunch of this as well. So like Kim said in the beginning, Korode's the older sister.
Yep.
So a lot of this was, you're the big sister. Like, I don't think it was because she's beautiful and stuff. The girl can't cook, teach her to cook. Like, I didn't really understand why it was like, oh my God. Like, it was like, some of the things, it's like, because you're the older sister. And this girl's a dopey, airy, fairy girl. And you seem to have common sense.
Help her.
Yeah.
Help her. But I think the way Korode has seen it is like, oh, that you want me to teach her how to cook so she can get a husband.
Yeah, husband. Like that. And I was like, right, that's taking, which probably maybe, it is a skill that she wants her to learn so she can get a husband. But it's also, you just said she can't make toast. You said that, Korode. So you don't want her to survive?
But yeah, so like, they're doing this little bit where, the house girl's cooking. She asks Ayo to I think cut spinach or something happens, and instead Aya's just filming it all to make it look like she's involved in the cooking. Obviously this stresses out Korode again, because she's trying to post it to social media. Remember, her boyfriend has disappeared. Korode's kind of like, why are you doing this? You're bringing attention to yourself. This isn't appropriate.
Sorry, so this is part of how they're trying to frame Ayo as a narcissist, because she says that she starts chopping it very haphazardly on purpose to get a rise out of Korode. This is what Korode is taking it as. And the house girl and Ayo are laughing together, and Korode is trying her best to not let her get a rise out of her. And it's like, okay, she might be doing these little sisterly passive aggressive things, but I think Korode always takes it so deep.
Yeah. It's because she's been pissed off with her for
never addressing it.
Yeah, for a long time.
Because I was constantly asking, like Kim said, are you okay? Like, are you mad at me? She's constantly asking. Like, even with Tade, she constantly asks.
But she just never addresses it. So that's why I will find out a bit, like,
and then
where
Korode will lash out in childish, subconscious, manic ways. Like, doing crazy, foolish things that are obviously you. Looking like a goddamn idiot.
Oh Lord. We get to know Tade, who, like Lola had actually, I think you said the same, was portrayed as a sweet, kind doctor who Korode fancies the pants off of, but obviously he sees her as a friend. Or does he just see her as a hard-working co-worker?
Yeah, because I don't think he sees her as a friend, because every time she came, he's like, oh, what are you doing here?
Also, if you could see the way Korode behaves with the other staff members, why would you want to be around her?
Why would you even think she would want to go out and do friendly things? She doesn't portray that. Going around really just snapping at people for smiling.
Yeah. Gosh, But yeah, so Korode has, because she fancies this man, she has made him some food, which she gives to him.
I'm not gonna lie, this book made me hungry. I'm not gonna lie, when they were talking about FR and all of this stuff and making food and stuff, I'm not gonna lie, it was making me hungry.
The food. There was a lot of food talk.
Okra, literally.
And there's a Nigerian restaurant that we have around us. They've been closed for a couple of weeks, and it would piss me off every time. Kaz is like, "Oh, like for takeaway, what do you want?" I was like, "I want Nigerian food," but they're closed. It was just every time I was reading this book, I was like, "No, not another thing." But yeah, so she gives it to him, and he does appreciate it. He highlights the fact that she's a good cook, so she's all happy about this because Tade has appreciated her thoughts. Bear in mind, there was a point earlier on where Ayo has called Korode. I can't remember when this happens. Ayo calls Korode while she's at work.
Straight after the day that, because I remember thinking, did she kill someone straight away? Or straight after they got rid of the body?
Yeah. So, but Korode just ignores the call. She doesn't answer. Coming back to where we are now, good old Korode is happy. She's given Tade food. And in walks her sister. She swans in. And I think the line was like a ray of sunshine or something like that. She's basically a ray of sunshine. And this stresses Korode out again because she's like, why are you here? We don't want you here, but everybody at her workplace loves her. And Ayo's just like, look, I came to see you. Like, you're not answering my calls.
This is when
I want to see you.
This is when it lost so many points, this scene, because then you have, oh my God, she's so pretty. Is she mixed? And all of these bad stereotypes from like, haven't we moved forward as a people kind of thing. And
I don't know, was this book written? 2019 was when it was put up, was long listed. Maybe because we've moved on, it just seemed quite jarring. I was like, come on. Like, there were light-skinned people, there were also good-looking dark-skinned people. Like, can we move on?
It just kept saying everyone's black. I was like,
yeah. But then again, I guess that's an issue for Nigerians, isn't it? But yeah, so she's all coming in, swanning in, like everybody's turning heads. Everybody's excited to see her. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is your sister. Are you sure you guys have been related? And this really pisses off.
What did she say? She's like, we do look alike, but she looks like a Bratz doll, whereas I look like a voodoo doll. I said,
I was like, rah.
This is what I'm picturing. I'm fully believing she's Quasimodo, and her sister's got this doe-eyed kind of cute.
I just think she's just average looking. That's what I think it is. And her sister's a pretty girl. That's all it is.
Yeah. I don't even think it's that. I think it's confidence. If you're walking around, all woe is me, like, and her sister's strutting stuff, wearing like the stuff her sister wears are quite out there.
Because she's a fashion designer. So apologies, guys. Korode's a nurse. Her sister's
we found that out halfway through too. So I don't know what.
I didn't write my notes. I didn't write my notes anywhere. So I just thought
it was kind of unnecessary. Yeah,
it was unnecessary because it had nothing to do with
all of a sudden. Really. We have this fashion angle. All of a sudden,
she's like all of a sudden making a dress that she wears somewhere.
Kept describing all of her outfits. Yeah,
Ayo's come to work. Korode's losing her mind. She really wants to get her out because she knows deep down that if Tade sees her sister, it's game over. So she's trying to get her out before this happens. But unfortunately, Tade sees Ayo, and there's a line in the book that says his voice gets all husky. And I was like,
I saw that.
I was like, oh gosh, Tade, you.
That's what there's certain bits in the book. Like, I was like, oh yeah, because the writing wasn't bad. It just didn't come together.
So we get some backstory of where the insecurities started. As when Korode went to school, so obviously Korode's the older sibling, so she goes to school. I think this is probably the first instance where she actually gets bullied for her looks. The boys in the school are calling her a gorilla. They're taking the piss out of her. So in her mind, she's like, okay, fine. When my sister comes to school, I'm going to protect her so that nobody takes the piss out of her. Her sister comes to school, I think the next year. I don't actually know the age difference between them. Her sister then starts school and she gets the complete opposite treatment. She's getting all positive attention from the boys. They love her up. And I think at this point, this is when her sister's like, rah, we're not the same. Which is interesting because that means that her parents, or maybe she didn't clock that her parents weren't treating them differently.
No, she said that though. She said her dad never treated them any different. So that's why I was like, the mum wasn't bullying you because it's because of men that you don't
exactly. It is the man situation, because that's why I was a bit like, oh,
because even the police officers, all of that stuff was all because of male attraction.
Going back to the present, Ayo has now set her eyes on Tade, and to be fair, he's actually set his eyes on her already. And even
sorry. She does say that the mum never tried for a boy because she had such a pretty daughter. I nearly gagged when I saw that sentence. I was like, are you...
That's a line.
And then you see what happened to the daughter, what they tried to do to this pretty daughter. So are you
no, that's not a real line. That's not a real line. No Nigerian woman has ever said that I haven't tried for a son because I have a pretty daughter, when you know that sons are a thing.
Yeah.
So when she said that, I was a bit like, that makes no sense. But you know, maybe in your household, I've never heard that. So I set her eyes on Tade, and even their mum is excited about this because obviously Tade's a doctor, and she can't actually understand.
So because of what was that show, Real Housewives of Lagos or something? So he has what did he say? He has properties in Lekki or somewhere. He said somewhere, and I was like, oh, that's a rich place because of that show.
You knew. Yeah. Like, oh, I know this. And she can't actually understand why Korede isn't keen on helping matchmake them two together, because obviously for everybody else in this situation, I think Ayo knows, but nobody knows that she likes this man. So obviously this is a normal situation. Ayo comes home, says, oh, I met Tade at work, like, and then her mum's just like, oh, like, Korede, why don't you help your sister and Tade get to see the doctor, like, help your sister out? So, and I'm just like, Korede, you're the one that's not helping the situation. Tade starts asking about Ayo at work, and Korede tries
Everyone
to get
is being very... No one's being sneaky. Everyone's being very clear. Like,
very
I like
open
you,
about this.
I like me. The sister's like, I like him. Do you like him? Because I like him. If you like him, I'll pull back. Like, she literally says this word for word.
Yeah, she actually says it. She's like,
this is your chance.
You like him. And
like that.
Korede doesn't pick up the ball that she's throwing. She just
keeps denying
she denies
everything.
it or something. Ayo actually hints, and this is where I was thinking, Korede, look, you can see that there's something going on, because Ayo hints at this point that Tade is like every guy and just wants a pretty face. And that's what I was just like, Korede, look, come on, say something. Like, your sister doesn't rate him anyways. And I was thinking, well done, because I don't think Tade is as good as Korede is making out to be. Korede tries
to... It's just the one guy that's giving her attention.
Exactly. The only, it's true.
And because they're in a everyday setting, it's I was seeing something about that, because if you work with someone or see someone every day, you're naturally going to be more attracted to them.
Yep, especially if it's in a positive, you're getting positive affirmation from the person as well. So yeah, Korede tries to switch it up at this point and decides to wear makeup to work, but everyone kind of looks at her like she's lost the plot. Even Tade is just like, when you just keep it natural, babes. And that's
how much she's kept it. But like, when she starts like trying to voice her opinions, everyone's like, oh, you're right.
Because this is mad. Like, can you imagine your sister? I'm trying to imagine, like, for example, if you came to my workplace, I'm losing my mind, because I'm sure it probably looked like that to everybody that you're at my workplace. Then the next time I go to work, I decide to wear makeup when I've never worn makeup before. And I do it badly because it sounds like she does it badly. Like, I can see what everybody's like.
Yeah, that's why I was like, she has no tact. No tact. Like, it'll be very clear, like, okay, you've got something with your sister, like some kind of competition.
Some sort of complex, yeah. But to be fair, nobody seems to actually deeply care about... I think that's one sad thing, is like, nobody cares about the emotions behind Korede. Because if I saw that happen, I think I would have probably thought, like, I probably wouldn't have brought it up with her, because she doesn't seem like a friendly person. She doesn't really talk about herself. But I would have thought, oh, this is interesting. Maybe it's because of her sister's dynamic. Tade starts pursuing Ayo more. He's sending flowers. But Ayo, bless her, is giving him the bare minimum. So, for example, he sends her these amazing looking orchids, and Ayo responds by text saying, I like roses. She's kind of just like, I know who you are. You just like the way I look. You don't know anything about me. And remember, guys, her ex-boyfriend has disappeared. And I'm pretty sure this wasn't too long ago. There's a lot going on at the moment. Aya wants to post the flowers to Instagram, and Korede has to stop her again, because this would be...
Because he then sends roses.
She has to stop her again because it's like, look, remember your ex-boyfriend disappeared because you killed him. So you can't post this to Instagram. Korede is low-key losing it at the brazenness of her sister, and now that the guy she fancies is chasing her serial killer sister, she is losing her mind a bit. So at night, she can't sleep. She goes downstairs, and this is when she does a madness and destroys the flowers he got Aya. in the morning, her mum comes down and is like, "Rob, what the hell happened here? Like, this is scary." So she thinks it's the house girl because she's like,
no, at first she
you're
thought they got
upset.
robbed.
Yeah. She did, didn't you?
She thought they got
Like,
robbed.
she screamed like, they say she screamed like a banshee.
Yeah.
Like, then she thought it must be the house girl because, you know, you wouldn't think it's your daughters. Ayo kind of steps in because her mum's losing her mind trying to figure out who it is.
Because
was it when Korede was starting to lose her mind because she didn't want to lose?
Yeah, I knew it was Korede, and Korede was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to step up because she doesn't want the house girl to get fired because of her." Although let's see what she does afterwards to the people in the hospital. But anyway, so she doesn't want a house girl to get fired. So she's literally just about to say it, and I liked the way that was broken down because you think she said it. And then, but then it was like, but it didn't come out of my mouth. But then I actually knew that was coming as well. It was cliche. But I saw it coming, but it was cliche. But yeah.
I didn't think she was going to step in. I was quite shocked that she did step in. I was like...
Because you could see her try to play this manipulative so that it could be like, Ayo can say, "Look, I know what's going on here. Like, I've been trying to ask you, do you like this guy?" You know,
yeah, it's almost like she's pushing her to open up. Yeah.
Trying to make her snap. Like, even with the whole body thing, the murder thing, the same thing. She's just trying to, every little thing is like trying to poke at her.
Because it's like, I'm insane. Just say I'm insane, basically. It's almost
she keeps
like
trying, are you scared of me? Are you just randomly? Yeah.
So we find out so remember I said earlier that we keep getting these weird interjections about the father. This is where we find out how their father died. And he actually died in the middle of beating them up like 10 years ago. So
this is a page of like, it's the most brief. It's like you're in the middle of them fighting and then he dies and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what kind of assault he was doing to her. Like, I was like, what's going on? It was that brief. Like,
it's true. But I think at this point I just thought, oh, he's beating them up because I didn't.
They make it clear afterwards
until we get to the
and then it gets weird again. Yeah, it does get weird again.
It does get weird. So I think does he have a heart attack and then smash his head or something? And they kind of don't do anything to help him.
Yeah, because it kind of looked like they could have saved him. Because she said, is this the same thing? Like, maybe she just didn't save. So they were kind of like, when she was trying to rack her brain about her sister's behavior, like with other people, she's like, maybe she with the other guy, the rich one, she's like, maybe she just didn't save him like we did with our father.
So Tade comes round to pick Aya up because they're going on a date. Good old Aya is just in her room, like I think she's watching TV or something. She's not even ready. Like, she's on the bed, like kikiing and laughing. And so Korede and her mum basically have to, you know, when guests come over, you have to be like, "Oh, do you want something to eat? Do you want something to drink?" So the mum says to Korede, like, "Go bring him some food." So she gets him some sweet treats that she had baked earlier. Tade tries it and he's like, "Oh, wow, this tastes amazing." And the mum steps in here to lie and say that Ayo made him. To me, that makes sense because
he's here for the sister.
You're like trying to help,
trying to make him look good.
Man.
And to be honest, this in the frame of this is, I don't think it's like taking away from Korede to make. She doesn't know you like this guy. If she did, she probably would have said, "Oh, you know, Korede, like both of my daughters are good," or something. Would have bragged on both of them. But yes, she did. I don't, because you could see Africans doing that. Like, you could see, I could see dad doing something like that.
This is a good man. We don't want to lose him. So time goes on. The news of Femi's disappearance is fading. Korede's still stressed about it. He's got this website that Femi's sister has made, I think Lola highlighted earlier, where like some of his poetry is being put on the website and just to keep his name out there. And she keeps going on the website to look at his poetry and try and find out more about the man that was killed. So Korede's talking to Mutfa about her serial killer sister, because she keeps talking to him. He's like we said, he's a confidant, when Tade interrupts. Don't worry, he didn't hear anything, obviously, because he's thinking about Aya. And he's really concerned at this point because Aya hasn't spoken to him for 2 weeks. She hasn't returned his call for 2 weeks. He wants Korede to help, which she reluctantly agrees to because he's like giving her puppy dog eyes and like he's so sad.
Because he touches her.
She reluctantly helps her. Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Touch makes her weak. So she reluctantly agrees to help. And I don't know if she did. Did she go back home and speak to Aya about him?
I think, yeah, remember, and that's when she was like, "Oh, he's clingy."
Femi's sister, like we said, is leading the charge of finding out what happened to Femi. And she posted a story on social media that a neighbor saw 2 women leaving Femi's apartment. The police decide to question Aya, who is ready for them because she, Aya's that girl, isn't it? So one of the police officers
Initially,
even seems to be a bit shy.
She was going to throw
around
her
Aya.
sister under the bus. She was going to say that the sister was having an affair with Femi, and
Yes, she was going to say Corday was having an affair, wasn't it? And that's why they got into a fight.
Yeah, and then Femi was
I
like,
was
"Girl, nah, you're taking it too far now."
I was like, rah. Like, I can't remember what she ended up saying. How did she get out of it?
Oh, they wanted to break up, and he wouldn't. Aya wanted to say, I wanted to break up with Femi, but because the sister was so pissed off that she tried to use her as a scapegoat, she said, why not, let's say Femi wanted to break up with you. And then Aya was like, but would anyone really believe that?
So yeah, the police officers come over. They don't I was able to spin the story so that they don't really question her anymore. Even one of the police officers is giving her the eyes kind of thing and acting all shy around her. So that was happening. They take Koroday's car for investigation because I'll say that
someone said something
came to
too
pick
much.
her up or something.
Yeah.
So they end up taking Koroday's car for investigation, even though like the mum
tried to defend. Yeah.
Yeah, like why are you taking her car? You can't take a car. But they end up taking her car. So obviously they don't find anything. But also this kind of brings us back to remember the beginning of the story to show the police corruption in Nigeria. They bring the car back to Koroday, but they bring it back to her workplace, so the hospital. And she says, she kind of highlights it in to be like, they did this on purpose to get a bribe because, you know, you want them to, it's embarrassing for the police officer to turn out at your workplaess.
Because they were like, you need to give us transportation fees. And she would have kicked up a fuss, but her colleague, one of her colleagues, is a gossip. It starts walking over.
Was around.
So she's like, oh, fine, how much is it? And then it was like 5,000 naira.
So that's happened. As Lola's highlighted, they even have, I think, her birthday. Is this when he gets her like a bracelet or something? So, and everybody's talking about how amazing they look together and all this other stuff. And, you know, Tade's happy again because, you know, they're together again. But Aya's not about that life. She's like, nah, you're too much for me. Aya's moved on to another man who's married with kids. They have gone to Dubai whilst Tade is out here depressed because he can't understand the switch up because of everything that's happened. Like he was at the party. He thought everything was going great. Koroday at this point tries to explain that her sister isn't who he thinks she is, but good old Tade doesn't want to hear it. I think at this point, Tade even says something to her like, you're not a good person, or he says something that
you're not a good sister, basically.
Yeah, like it was just out of pocket. You know, them ones where, and I think even at this point, Koroday was looking at him like,
where do you know me from? Yeah.
Like, you don't know about my sister. You don't know, like she just killed a bunch of people. So that's when I was a bit like, Tade needs to kick rocks. He's getting on my nerves.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
So then we do another dad chapter, and this is where we hear more about about the infidelity of the dad. So Koroday remembers when her dad brought home a colorism again, a banana colored girl to the house. I was like, wow, is that what we're saying? A banana colored girl. This was considered the first time he had actually ever brought one of his girls home. And her mum was losing her mind. She's like screaming. Then I think she tries to grab the girl or something like that. And then the dad slaps her and
yanks her by her hair.
The bedroom. Yeah, yanks her
and throws her by her hair.
And then he takes this girl
into the house. I didn't understand what was happening.
Room.
Yeah, I was like, this is wild.
He takes her into their room, and then the next day behaves like nothing happened.
Yeah. So the mum has to sleep upstairs with the kids, and then the next morning they have breakfast at the table, and the dad's, oh my god, my wife makes the best food. The mistress has gone, and they're acting like nothing's happened. And even the mum starts acting. So this is when the mum starts taking Ambien,
which is, you know, when you're just like, oh, so she's taking medication. Like, this is the first time we hear that she's taking medication, but okay.
She referenced it in the beginning that, oh, she's probably upstairs on Ambien or something, or in another flashback, she was sleeping Ambien or something when the dad died. But yeah, it was like, yeah.
Okay, I didn't remember that bit. Okay. So,
I just thought that was very weird, not very typically Nigerian, that part.
She takes medication, isn't it?
Yeah.
I did think so too. It seemed very Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
So, like we said, Aya's gone off to Dubai with this new boyfriend, and
he's an old man.
Yeah, he's quite slimy, quite scummy.
Before this happens, Corday tries to confront him, but she needs to protect her sister when the sister goes upstairs to get ready on one of their dates. And he's like, well, we're all out in the open. Da, 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 da. So you know how Kim was saying how when people come, you have to go and get stuff. So when she goes up to go and get stuff, he's like, sister, please don't spit in it. Or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, everyone's got your card. They know. Like you're a foul woman.
Man, it's so true. So true. Like nobody trusts you. So yeah, so they've gone off. Corday finds out that, you know, has a wife with 3 sons. Like they're proper like a typical upper middle class family. She's also seeing that they're celebrating their anniversary or some stuff that's going on at the same time. So she's just like, wow, this guy is actually really scummy. Whilst Ayo and this man are out here in Dubai. Tade calls Corday, but she doesn't answer, obviously, because, you know, she's pissed off with him because of, I think, of what he had said earlier to her about being who she is. Then we move on because Tade is obviously heartbroken that Ayo has gone off to Dubai. She can't get in contact. And again, Corday tries at this point, because they're at work. So Corday tries again at this point to be like, look, she's not who you think she is. Like, just move on. And he then says again at this point, like, you know, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you like this? Why do you talk about your sister like this? Your sister has said that you don't like her or some shit.
Yeah, the sister's smarter than they tried to make her out to be. She had already set up and covered all her bases. Like all her
like, if my sister
covered.
comes to you, don't worry about it.
She's
just jealous of me.
Yeah, she had it covered.
Corday goes to speak to her confidant, our patient in a coma, and, you know, she's talking to him about like how she's pissed off with Tade now, and she's pissed off with Ayo, and she snaps at one of the cleaners who's cleaning with like a dirty mop. She's just pissed off. Good old Corday's just pissed off. Ayo returns from her trip and tells Corday, oh, that guy's died. He died from food poisoning, is what she tells her.
Yeah.
Like, correct? Died from food poisoning. Dubai.
Yeah, okay. I was like, who dies from food poisoning when I saw that at first?
I was just like, oh, okay. So Tade arrives, and I guess this is because maybe Ayo has told him she's back. Like, I was kind of like, where did Tade come from? So Tade arrives. He and Ayo are like going back to normal. He's kissing up passionately. Corday's just there like, rah, like after all of this, when you were losing your mind, she's come back and you're fine to get back with her. So Corday starts to search the web to find out more information on the death, to see if Ayo's name's been brought up into the situation. Ayo's name is nowhere to be found in regards to this death, but she does see stuff about a drug overdose instead of food poisoning. So Corday at this point is thinking, okay, maybe my sister doesn't actually have anything to do with this, because we know Ayo likes to stab people. So she's probably thinking like, okay, maybe my sister, like maybe he was taking drugs. But, you know,
there was 2 things. I can't remember, because she lied about 2 things, isn't it? But I can't remember. She said it was food poisoning and there was something else. Because that's when she starts to think, how many other people has she killed then? Because she does start to think maybe she was responsible. There was 2 things that she lied about. I can't remember what it was though.
Moving on, what else is happening? Because, you know, we just like I skipped quite a bit of it at this point. Back to her workplace, Corday becomes a senior nurse. She gets promoted. She's really pleased about this. All right, now this is where my notes kind of teeter off. So I'm going to zoom through the ending, because to be fair, it feels like the ending did get rushed through. So good old Mota, our dear confidant, has now woken up. You know, there's a bit, you know, this is like, well, finally he's awake. We find out that he's gotten up from his coma. His family are all around him. At this point, Corday can't go see him, but she can hear his voice. Then Tade kind of comes out, is just like, oh, well done for taking care of him. You did really well, because I think she was the only nurse that was really like going in, doing everything for him, making sure that he was okay. The next day, Tade comes over and they're playing like a game of like Cluedo. And this is also where Corday does say a point that she's like, he's so naive because he can't grasp that Ayo would be lying about anything. So she's kind of just, I think she kind of started to see, or to be fair, she's probably seen him from day, but she is looking at him like, you're, you know, she's probably giving her the ick here. And this is also where he finds out that the mum lied to him about the cooking, because he says to Ayo, oh, like, could you give me a sweet treat that you made for me last time? To be fair, I was like, why does she need to go make you something? Like, why? I'm a bit like, where come from? And then she's like, Ayo's just like, a sweet treat that I made you? And he was just like, yeah, the last time I came. And she's like, I can't make anything. Like, that was probably something Corday did. And he just kind of was like, oh, okay, which was an interesting point, but I did think, I was like, okay, why?
Because at this point, both of them started getting the ick of each other. So it's ever since that scene with Boyega that, yeah, she started to see his true colors, like you said. Also, I think he was just so frustrated with how she was bad mouthing Aya. So he never really saw the judgy, bitchy side that everyone else saw, but he started to see that side of her. And then he's like, oh, you're just like everyone's been saying. Now I see it. I never saw it before. So now so when he finds out that she actually was the one that cooked, he was like, oh, like he wanted to take the compliment back or something.
I was just like, you see, you don't know her. Like, that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, you don't know this woman. But then we get a flashback from when Corday was 10, and this kind of is trying to push the narrative that her mum doesn't actually care about her. They go to the market. I think they're both holding their mum's hand, and Ayo runs off to find something, as kids do. The mum runs after her, and Corday kind of gets lost behind. So she's of this opinion of like, oh, I'm left alone in a strange place. Nobody's looking for me, which is a bit like, okay.
You never hear the ending of this story.
Yeah, it's like, did she come back? Did you run after them?
How did you get found? Like,
yeah, like we're still here.
Just to make her point. She only says the bit to make her point.
I was a bit like, okay, all right, thanks for this. Then we come back to present day. Corday finally gets to sit down with Mutaj. She's, like talking to him, and then my guy just drops the ball like, oh, I remember when you said that your sister was a serial killer. And she's just like, and in that instance, this was when I was saying, Corday, you're no better than your sister. In that instance, she starts thinking like, I need to kill this man. She's like thinking
because
through,
actually,
like, how do I
when
get rid
he
of him?
woke up, from the time he woke up from the coma, she has been avoiding him, acting very nervous around him, acting very guilty. She has really no tact. Like, she should never be involved in crimes, let alone an M charge. Like, so she's like every time he switched his nurse to primary nurse to be her because she was avoiding him so much. So when he finally, so that's why he was like, you know what, he just said it in the open. And then she starts acting crazy, like stuttering and everything. And she was like, I can't even lie. She said, to be honest, she says it, I can't even lie. My reaction's so obvious.
So it's like, yeah, you've been talking to her this whole time. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
Detail.
So after that happened, I think there was kind of like a stop in that chapter, because you're kind of like left trying to figure out what she's going to do with that. Then we go to a different scene where the sister, Femi's sister, comes to the house because she's like still trying to figure out what's happened to her brother. She's like losing her mind. Coraday's trying to deal with it, and then good old Aya pops out, my girl holding an ice cream. Like, it was just the juxtaposition of it
weird all. What was the need of that?
She's a bit like, oh, just eat an ice cream. And so she pretends or performs, according to Corday, she performs empathy, hugs the sister, and is trying to comfort her. But the whole time,
sorry, 1 second.
Guys, Lola went to go get an ice cream. Lola went to go get an ice cream, by the way, just after I said about the ice cream. So
because it's a vegan cornetto. Do you know how hard these are to find? You just reminded me.
Stop the recording. I was thinking, oh, like something's happened. Left, come back with an ice cream in her hand. I was like, rah, okay. So when she's hugging the sister, she's kind of just looking at the ice cream like, oh, it's melting. Which I was just like, Corday really makes her sister out to be a psychopath. But I guess if you're killing a bunch of people, you're probably not very right in the head. They're back in the workplace. Tade shows Corday the ring. And to be honest, Tade, why did we do this? You already know the relationship isn't great. Like, Tade is an op.
Literally, by this point, he knows that she doesn't like her sister.
But so he's like, oh, like, look, this is the ring and I plan to propose to Ayo. And I understood Corday being like, sorry? You want to propose? Like, she kind of tries to tell him again, like, look, Ayo's not going to be down for a proposal. She's just in it for the fun and games. He's just like, no, Ayo's going to change. Like, I will help her change. Like, I can make her into a housewife, all this crap. And then she even says at one point, like, look, Ayo will hurt you physically. Like, you don't know about this woman. And he again then accuses Korode of being, you know, mean and doesn't want the best for her. And then Korode again remembers like, okay, you're not okay in the head. And she actually remembers earlier on when Ayo had said like he's like any other guy. So she at this point remembers like Ayo saying that he was quite a shallow man that just sees her for her looks. We have a situation now where we go back to the father section. We have another father chapter. This is where, trigger warning, you see how evil the dad is. The dad has this important guest that comes round, and Korode highlights that he has a cane that's studded from top to bottom with different color beads. And obviously they're young, so this attracts Ayo, who looks at the cane and she's like, oh, that's a pretty cane. And Korode remembered from when they were younger that her grandparents had said if a chief saw a girl that he liked, he would reach out and touch her with his bejeweled cane and she would become his bride, no matter if the girl in question wanted to be his wife or not. So at this point, Korode goes into protector mode and she's just like, she tries to stop Ayo from being transfixed by this cane, as she tries to get in between them, going back to the future or present. So Korode's still trying to keep, she's keeping Mukhtar company. He's having issues with his family. I don't know if he's rich. Is he rich? He's something, but he's having issues with his family. Like we have this weird thing where his son comes to bring this girl and say that he wants to get married.
Sorry. In that flashback as well, whatever those bits are supposed to be. So when that whole scene with the old man was sitting down, Korode clocks at first because they're still quite young. So Korode clocks at first that something's not right here. Like this guy's looking at us a bit too much, yeah. And then after a while, the guy's looking at Ayo the whole time. And then after a while, the dad, because I don't think the dad was in it initially. I don't think that's why he brought the man round initially. But then when he saw that when he saw that the man just kept staring at Ayo, instead of telling him off, he started looking at Ayo himself. And that's when she said that up until that point, his dad never really saw them any different. He always treated them the same, but finally he saw value in Ayo and whatever.
I was just like, oh man, like we haven't heard anything good about this man at all. You can see how Mukhtar's he's going through it with his family. Obviously, Korode's going through it with her family. So they kind of become like kindred spirits, and the son wants to do something. He wants to get married to a woman, and his dad's just like, "No, you're not getting married to her." So Korode's like, "Look, this is family drama. Let me leave so that you guys can deal with it." And he's like, "No, I need you here." Which I don't know what this was supposed to do. I think I felt like, is this supposed to be a romance for them? But the book's nearly over.
Yeah, because
I didn't understand what
I
this
didn't understand
for.
what this. Yeah, I did not understand this point at all. He could have stayed asleep.
Moving on, Korode is back at home. She's unable to sleep, and this was when this is the point where I was just like, okay, so she can't sleep, so she goes to Ayo's bedroom to sleep, and like she kind of curls up with her, and there's a line that says, "Together we were safe," and she's reminded of the fact that Ayo's able to just carry on with life while she's having sleepless nights and going through all this stress. So it's really bothering her that, how are you able to get through this? And it's probably just the way her sisters had to deal with all of the trauma that she's dealt with. She's dealt with it in a different way to how Korode's dealing with it, and Korode can't really get her mind around that. Then we have another father chapter where when Korode and Ayo were young, a boy came to their house to express interest in Ayo. This was mad. This bit where I was just like, rah. So the dad received him well. He was like chatting with him, like, you like Ayo, all this other stuff. But Korode was clocking on like, my dad's not usually like this. This feels weird to me. But Ayo's like enjoying the attention. She thinks this is fantastic. Like her dad likes the boy. She likes the boy. This is quite good. So she doesn't clock on because Korode's trying to be like, I think this guy needs to leave. When the boy left, the dad takes a cane and orders Ayo to strip so he could beat her for behaving wantonly. So he's basically saying that she must be behaving in some way outside for boys to think that they can come to the house. While she's getting beat, Korode holds her hand, and he only stopped when Korode reminded him that Ayo will scar and people will ask questions. So I was just like, yeah. So they've gone through some things. I can see why her sisters become who she has become. Korede, on the other hand, I don't know. Maybe because she always feels that she has to protect her sister, but I can see why Ayo's become who she's
got
become.
Jesus complex or savior complex, because even in that moment, what the hell does you holding my hand do in that moment? Because she framed it like, oh, I knew she needed me, even though I could get hit myself. I held her hand, bitch. No, she never said anything to you. She was there getting whipped. Who is talking to you right now? So she's got a savior complex. She's a bit of a narcissist herself, like.
She's like, I'm here to protect it. Yeah. So we get back to the present, and she has a dream about Tade being dead, but she's lost her mind again, and Korede decides, I am going to destroy this ring because I can't let him propose to my sister. So she ransacks the office. In
this bit, I thought, is this a dream or what? Is she really doing this? Because even when she did it, it's the stupidest. She ransacks the office to make it look like a robbery, but you take no drug,
nothing. She doesn't even take the ring. She destroys the ring. She doesn't actually take the ring. I think she just takes the diamond out of the ring or something. She just destroys the ring.
She takes the bezel or whatever.
So when you're just like, okay. So one of the nurses accuses the cleaner to say that he's the one that did it, and the poor guy gets fired, bearing in mind, because of all of this.
And she didn't like this guy. So before, when it was a house girl, she liked that girl, so she had a moral compass then.
Well, she didn't
even get to. She was still pussy, but she had a moral compass at least. But now she was just sitting back, like, oh, what do you think happened? Oh, do you think he did it? Oh, like facilitating the conversation.
They even tried to frame him to be a drug addict or something.
But then the whole time this is happening, Tade's in the background, like, bitch, I know you fucking lied. Like, just looking at her, like, because even when he came, he looked at her and then did not address her, and then he would not talk to her about it because he knew straight away. As I said, she has no tact.
He even says it to her, like, it's a strange thing that a drug addict would just ransack my office and not take anything.
They tried to say that he's a drug addict. So,
I was like, come on, you've gotten rid of bodies. You should have been able to do
no
this.
tax. But she's shown no tax very many times.
We leave that scene with Korede throwing the diamond into this lagoon where they throw their dead bodies again. So bear in mind,
like that was her lick back. Like she said it like that. I was like, yeah, take that.
What she thinks she's doing. So that happens. We also get a small interlude of, I've missed a bit, but to be fair, Lola has said this. So we find out earlier on in the book how her first victim came to be, Ayo's first victim. It's when she's 17, I believe. So she kills him and then calls Korede, who comes over, and because the guy was a smoker, or it helped because the guy was a smoker, they basically lit the place alight, and they were able to get away with it because everybody thought that he left a cigarette on something. And then in this bit, you find out about the second victim, but all you hear is that Ayo calls Korede crying that she's killed someone named Peter. Done.
Okay, because I was gonna say, what? When did we find out about the second?
Yeah, it was a line. It was just like, I've killed some guy called Peter.
And then at one point she said, oh, the other two were bad. One person was this, one person was that. But it was like a tagline, like, oh, this person was bad because of this, and this person was bad because of...
Okay, now we're getting to the crux of the book. So this Peter chapter then follows on to Tade calling Korede from Ayo's number. And you're just like, Rob, what's he calling her for?
You don't know that. I thought it was Korede calling her. I said, you did not just kill this guy. Like,
I thought it was Ayo was calling.
So, yeah.
That's true, because you're just like, oh, that's interesting. Korede turns up and she sees Ayo in the bedroom stabbed with the knife. I was like,
but you know straight away she's still alive because she said something. She said, oh, it's ironic, isn't it? And I was like, oh, okay, you're not going to die.
Yeah. She tried to kill Tade. He resisted or fought back. So Ayo says that he hit her, but Tade is, and the line says, the first man able to defend himself against Ayo's accusations says she is lying. Like, he's frantic because obviously he's like, run, she just tried to kill me and I've stabbed her. So there's a lot going on. Korede gets into, mama bear mode. She bandages the wound with the knife still in. She calls the hospital. Tade helps to carry Ayo into the car. He drives after them. and he's trying to explain himself, like trying to tell
you're
Corday
right,
like what's
you
happened.
told me, you tried to warn me.
And
but
yeah,
Corday is like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, she even says to him, I think she says to him like, she warns him to keep quiet, or she's gonna accuse him of the attack.
Yeah.
And then he actually says to her like, "You're worse than she is, bro."
Yeah.
And I was thinking, finally, somebody said this to her.
Yeah.
Because you are worse. Because this is insane. I was in hospital recovering. She's still unconscious. The mum arrives. She's losing her mind about it. She's trying to push Corday for information. Corday is kind of hesitating because she's just like, I don't know if my story is going to match up with Ayo's story. Corday admits that they were at Tade's house, but she doesn't want to say anything else until Ayo wakes up. Ayo regains consciousness. The police arrive, and to Corday's shock, Ayo straight up tells them, Tade stabbed me. He stabbed me when I refused his proposal. She's just like, he tried to propose to me. I said no. He stabbed me. And at that point, that's when I called my sister for help.
And like
that's
I said,
what she said it quick.
Yeah, and like I said before about her covering she's very good at covering herself. She's very smart. She'd already convinced the mom, like, even because the mom even came like, yeah, don't you remember? Da-da-da. And she was like, oh damn, I should have spoken to her before, as soon as she woke up.
It was actually wild. And at this point, I actually kind of looks at Corday like, you need to make a choice between me and Tade. Like, you can't sit on the fence forever.
Yeah, she's like,
thank you, babe.
You're in this or you're out. You're
yeah.
What's it when you help someone get rid of a body and whatever? You're doing that crime with me, or you're because I don't know why you keep picking up the phone when you know what's happening. If I'm calling you at stupid o'clock.
I would have blocked your number by now, because I'm just like, nah, every time I ask
I get
it,
the first time, like,
dead body.
You put me in a bad position, but I'm your sister, I got you. But the second time, don't try it. Like, now I'm the mom.
Every time. So while this chaos is going on, Mukhtar's wife is in front of his room crying because he wants to divorce her, because I think it's trying to portray that she was maybe having an affair with his brother or something whilst he was in this coma. That's happening in the background.
I didn't understand that bit. But
because you remember they come to him together, and like there's this tense atmosphere or whatever. So
she didn't. Everyone was saying that, even the doctors Tade was saying that you were gonna die.
Yeah, for real, everybody was gonna kill him off, and except for Corday, who seemed to, for some reason, back him until now. So he's also heard that Corday's sister is in hospital, and he kind of says to her, like, look, this is a time you can free yourself, just tell the truth. And she obviously is a bit like, I don't know if I can. And she does, I don't think she says anything. She's just kind of like, thanks for the advice. And they are discharging good old Mukhtar, who wishes to stay in touch, but Corday is a kind of bit like, I don't know how to react to this. We don't really know what this relationship is, guys. It's kind of left in the air whether he wants a relationship with her. Does he just want us to be friends? I don't know what this was and why we needed to interject this bit here. But maybe it was supposed to be the consciousness to say to her, yeah, it's true.
I was like, what was the point of this? Am I going to see 079?
I think it was kind of just to be like somebody from the outside saying, like, look,
someone finally listens to her, or someone's finally there for her. I don't know what the point of being there.
Because obviously you got the sisters to say, you got Tade saying like you're worse than she is. You got Tade saying you need to stop sitting on the fence, and then you've got Mukhtar saying basically like, look, you can get out of this right now. Like, you've got an out, but she doesn't see that out. So we're going back to what happens. Oh, Ayo is living her best social media life. She takes a picture of her wound, which she posts to Snapchat. She also says that Tade, which was quite an interesting point to make. She says that Tade believed that Corday was responsible for Femi's death because she was jealous, and that she'd done what she had to do to protect Corday. When she attacked him, Tade said Corday was telling the truth. So she's kind of like, not gonna lie, I know what you've been saying. That.
But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of believe that, because the way she revealed that wasn't like, oh, it was kind of like she was like, oh, actually, do you want to know something funny? I actually did. It was like she wasn't gonna ever tell her that. Like, so she was like, actually, because I think they were arguing about something. I can't remember why that got revealed. But I do believe that she's telling the truth, that he was, because she said you've been telling him all this stuff about me killing other people and I'm a serial killer and stuff. So he was gonna tell the police or something. He thought you were the killer.
Yeah, so he thought that because she says that Tade believed Korede was responsible for Femi's death because she was jealous. Because he's thinking that she's jealous of Ayo.
Yes, and there's this picture going around because she keeps coming to save the day of these two women. And remember, that was the initial plan that Ayo had, that, she was sleeping with Femi. So she told her that or something. But for some reason, he thought she's so jealous, she's so obsessed with you. Because they had another argument before this meeting as well. Remember, he said something else to her. So he probably was reporting back to her what she was saying. Yeah. Because she said expressive, like she's killed before. Yeah. And then she said, I didn't kill her.
Ayo says, like,
she just blames me for
Ayo actually says death. In this point, she's just like, that Tade said Korede was telling the truth. Like, obviously, after she attacked him, he's like, he says it out to her. So now Ayo knows that that Korede has been speaking to Tade about her and all this other stuff. So Ayo now reminds Korede it's his word against ours. And I'm just like, right.
Because she said, because initially Korede says it's his word against yours. Even in my head, I was saying, you have been an accomplice the whole time. For every single murder, not even on and off. You were there for every crime from start to finish. It was your idea to set the place on fire, in fact.
Yep. It was her idea. It was her. She's been the one. She knows how to clean up a dead body. So it's her. Then we get another father chapter. And actually, I didn't know this when I was looking through my notes again. This is where we find out the father's name is Kendo, which you would know because
because twins.
Taiwan. They're twins. Yeah. Taiwan Kendo. So actually, before he died or before his death, the sister Taiwo came to take Ayo away to the rich businessman that they had met before because their father was selling his daughter for a deal. So Korede at this point is protecting them from protecting Ayo from their aunt using the father's cane.
But so this is how she was trying to say that she's becoming like the dad, because the dad could do bad things and not feel any way about it, because the dad was trying to frame it that if she didn't remember how Kim said in the last flashback that the dad said, what kind of manner are you acting outside for a boy to think that you can come to this house? So he's basically saying she's acting like a whore, and so because of that you need to get tied down, because even when the aunt came round, she's like, because as a woman she knows this is wrong. The girl was 14 at the time. She's like, but you're bleeding and you're a woman now. She tried to be old school vibe, but you could tell she was being, and then so she said, well, you shouldn't have been out there gallivanting, then this wouldn't have happened, basically. So they're trying to make it like it's your fault. You're such a...
That's happening, yeah.
So you can see, like Kim said, you can see why she ended up being such a sexual prowess, because everyone's been painting her as such since she was such a young age.
Yeah, since she was young. So that happens. We come back to the current state of what's going on. Korede's being questioned by the police, and you can see she's picked sides because, she kind of says, like, look, I've never known Tade to be a violent guy, but also I haven't known him very long. And I was like, she's Lord God.
She said done this a couple of pages ago. I love him.
Yep. But also, he gave her the ick, man.
Yeah.
My guy's been cussing her out.
Yeah. Cussing her out and crying over her sister.
So at this point, she's like, look, you should have been nice to me. You should have actually been nice to me. So Muta leaves the hospital. Korode's sad that he's left because obviously he is her confidant. The police have arrested Tade. They even revoke his medical license. He's going to spend several months in jail for assault. And we can see that Korode has chosen a side. So we're finishing up the book. So after a while, Korode's still debating whether she should call Muta, and she's beginning to forget what his voice sounds like. She's, sad that he's gone because obviously, that's her Cody. So then the house girl informs her there's a male visitor. Korode is like, I think she was about to burn, and this is back to Lola's talking about her being a bit of a pyro. She burns the paper with Muta's number on it because can't remember what the reason is, but she burns this piece of paper. She goes downstairs to meet somebody, and it's a new admirer who has brought roses. And I was thinking, this is going to be victim number 5, 6, whatever it is. And that was the way the book ends. So we're left knowing that her sister is a serial killer, like the title says, and she's going to continue serial killing because her dear older sister is out here just cleaning up after her. There we go, guys. That's the end of this bloody book.
Last thoughts. Okay, so do you want to give your thoughts then, or do you want to have a break from speaking? What do you want to do?
No, actually, you give yours, actually, because I will take a break. Let me drink some water.
I don't have much to say. I just think it was pointless. It was really like, what was the message? What was the point of any of that? It could have been good. I did not know that this book was supposed to be a thriller whatsoever. It did not feel like a thriller. It felt so cliche. There was no part of the book that was suspense or like had me guessing any part of it. And it was well written, but somehow dumb. But it was a very well written book, and it's very quick. But it was just, I don't know, And then the main character is just so annoying. She's like a Karen. It's so annoying. The plot is silly, empty, and weak with a terrible, pointless ending, and the whole thing kind of gave pointless. But it was very good writing. But even the sisters' relationship, I mean, me and Kim being like, just us two. I was like, that's not. I don't know. That's not the dynamic. They're not getting the I don't know, the vibe right. The loyalty versus love. I was like, there's a limit to the foolishness. Like, come on. And then I don't know. The deceptive nature of beauty. Nature of beauty was very like so cliche, having that role, and then the way she done it with the colorism thing was just ridiculous.
Maybe because I just found that quite jarring. It was very like, oh, like where's this come from? Oof, like, just like, this is unnecessary. Why can't they just be the same color and be liked? But I guess it is a topic of conversation in African countries about colorism. But I did think this seems a bit. It was quite jarring.
Every evil person was light skinned and whatever, and everyone was black. It's like, come on,
it's true actually. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Every light-skinned woman was like a Jezebel in her eyes. But it was quite jarring because even the people that she works with, I think one of them's light-skinned as well, and she cusses her out because
she said she's not
dating the cleaner or something.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, okay. What are my thoughts on the book? I was trying to. This is basically how the voice notes goes when I was talking to Lola about this. I was like, I don't know. Like when I was looking at because I use like this app to look at, and it's quite a good app for books that you're reading, and it kind of breaks down some themes. So the themes that it has is the perception of beauty is one theme, nature versus nurture is another theme, family dynamics and contemporary Nigerian society is another theme that is portrayed in this book. And I'm like, if she did touch on them, she didn't flesh them out. I think that's the issue.
Yeah, she touched on them, but she did not flesh them out.
So that's what I found quite jarring, because this book I wouldn't have hated it if the book was longer.
Because there was so many.
Just flesh it out.
Why did we start at body number 3? Like, couldn't we start from the start? Like, I don't know. And then this jumping back to the father situation in patches, like a fever dream, was bothering me. Like, can we just get it told properly? Like, have longer chapters for this backstory, because it was very, all of a sudden your mom's a drug addict, and then like passed out, and then it's like all of a sudden she's okay again. Like, how did we get to here?
And it was all like the worst of the dad as well. It was quite cliche and like, oh, like my dad beats us. Oh.
And then the aunt is bad. The aunt tried to steal the money as well.
Yeah,
and then they only live in this rich mansion because of, I can't remember, because they built the house or something. Otherwise, they would have been
the
poor.
dad built the house.
Yeah, it's like, come on. And she's just not likable.
No. And to be fair, authors can make characters so that you don't like them, but I don't think that's what she did for this person. I don't think she wanted Corday to be unlikable. I think she wanted us to feel her pain, and you don't feel her pain. You kind of, I side more with Ayo being like, look, if you were her sister and you cared about her, you'd have stopped her at some point.
It's given she's obsessed with her sister rather than she actually cared. She's just obsessed with her.
I didn't enjoy this book. It was, like Lola said, it's written well. It's a very quick read. I quite like the way the chapter styles are. You can just, I was saying to Lola, I was like, you could read this book in like an hour or two. It's a very quick read.
But
but it then does make you feel you're a bit like you finish thinking, oh, okay.
I just
Like, I felt
literally,
annoyed.
I just said, what is that? Yeah, like what?
Yeah.
I literally felt like after a while, I was like, am I pissed? Why am I pissed off?
Yeah. Why am I annoyed?
Yeah, I was
I'm annoyed
irritated
with everybody.
Yeah, literally. That was my vibe. Literally, yesterday I was sitting there like, oh, this actually bugged the soul out of me.
That was so
and
annoying.
I didn't feel it as much whilst I was reading it. It was after I was done with it. I was like, that was very annoying. Yeah.
And also, I didn't like the portrayal of Nigeria as a society.
No, I did not.
Like,
yeah.
Why is every aspect of Nigeria corruption or incompetence? Like,
Nigeria.
The police officers are incompetent. She's able to get away with it because the police are incompetent. I'm like, yeah, don't get me wrong. When it's not the best, but so is other countries. Like, I don't know. I just felt like, show us some more about Nigeria. I don't know. She could even have taken us to different areas. Like, oh, like me and my sister went here, or me and Tade. Like, we didn't see anywhere else.
She just mentioned so and so had a house. The rich man kept saying he had a house there. And then that guy says, Tade said he had a house somewhere.
Because like the scenes in the book were work, the house.
It's true. We didn't go anywhere to these places that they went. Because even when they had this party for the dad's anniversary thing, that was supposed to be in some place, but we never actually heard about that.
We never, that's why I can't remember if I talked about it in the plot points, because it was such an insignificant. It was like, oh, okay, like so, like
it was
I
just to introduce
like
the auntie, I think.
Yeah. I just think is a lot more world building would have helped this book. And it would have been so good if we got like near the end, because you know some books do that at the end where you get a chapter written by another person in the book.
Ayo would have been good.
It would have been so good to have Ayo just have a chapter of her own, of her just talking about how mad Corriday is.
Yeah,
because it'd be so interesting to see how Corriday is to everybody else.
Yeah,
because
you can kind of tell
she's as sane as she thinks she is.
No, yeah, because you can kind of tell the vibe, like that people don't like her perception of her is and what everyone perceives her
everybody
to be.
Else has.
Yeah,
because nobody seems to like her, bless her. So what would you rate this book out of 5? 2. Yeah, I agree. I would never read it again. I didn't like it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I probably would never read it again. I think I'll move on. I'd be like, okay.
I'll never tell anyone to read it. I'll never. The only thing that's giving it a 2 is that it was well written. Well, not well written. The writing style was good.
Yes, that's a good point to say. Yeah, I don't want to keep saying it's well written because it's not well written. A well written book would have gotten 5. It's the writing style and the chapters.
Punchy.
Even what do you think of the pace?
The jumping. No, I did not like that fever dream thing with the dads jumping back.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. It would have been so good to just have a chapter of the madness of the dad.
Yeah.
Then we could move on. Like all of this interjections of the dad's madness was just like, it just kept taking me out and putting me in a situation. I was like, oh, I don't want to be here. Like we've got quite a lot going on at the moment. Like even like that last chapter with
the child with taking the sister away. Because like that bit is so typical of like old Nigeria. I mean, I don't know why she felt she had to include all aspects of typical bad things about Nigeria. You're right. So it didn't really paint us in the best light, our portrayal of contemporary Nigeria. And I don't even think it was contemporary Nigeria, to be honest. It was given more than old Nollywood movies we used to watch when we were kids. Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, I'm not born and bred in Nigeria. We were both born and bred here in the UK. So I don't know if this is a thing, and Nigerian listeners, if this is more commonplace. Not
sure
Nigeria.
It happens for wealthy families
in Nigeria.
Yeah, you see maybe in K-dramas all the time, but I mean, like in Korea. But like, I mean, the way she did it was very vintage. Like it wasn't like for a business deal. It didn't give that vibe. It gave it like it was for a nonce because the guy was a nonce. Yeah.
Like given the whole Epstein, it just felt weird. I just thought, let's just show something nice about Nigeria.
And then I don't see any of the modern parts of Nigeria in this book at all, really.
At all. But then again, like I said, the only scenes we saw were their house and her workplace. That's all we saw. So, so guys, that was the book. Moving on to read receipts.
Read receipts.
Alrighty. So, good or bad first?
Which one are you doing? You're doing
The
bad, aren't you? Well, we both feel that it wasn't great. So let me do the good and get that out of the way.
We're doing short ones, by the way.
Cool. So this was written by somebody called BB on Goodreads. That's where we get our read receipts from. This was written on the 16th of June 2020. Just to bear in mind, this book I think was written in 2019. They've said, now that's what I call a damn good story. Wow, where do I even start? Firstly, the story coupled with the setting alongside the characters all resonate at a level only a fellow Nigerian would understand. Besides all that, the plot itself is unique. The prose is crisp and evocative. The characters multi-layered. Then there's that dry, sardonic humor that Braithwaite sprinkles throughout the story that made me cackle out loud, where I probably should have been appalled. Additionally, what Braithwaite does with the titular characters, the ditzy yet extremely manipulative serial killer Iola, and her long-suffering, perpetually angsty sister Corriday is nothing short of magical. Love, love, love. Nobody liked this review. That just might be when it was written, I don't know. But yeah, there we go. I don't agree. I'm sorry, whoever you are.
Okay, this is Adila, and she said 1 star, and she read this in 21. The majority of the book is filled with an older sister resenting her younger sister for looking hotter and getting more attention. However, you can also see the point of view of a girl who feels taken for granted by everyone in her life. It was very predictable. This book just felt like a long rant, to be honest.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That is because I get why she would feel this way because of her resentment. I do get why she feels this way, but I just don't like it. So
it gave pointless because by the end of the book, you're right at the start. Nothing has changed.
Again,
nothing's grown.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, we learned nothing.
And now you don't even have a love interest at work anymore because you got his license revoked.
And you don't have no one to talk to because the person who was in a coma has woken up and you burnt his number.
In it, it's like you're now just on your own. It's just you and your sister again against the world. Yeah, so guys, that was another episode. We'll see. I'm editing this one. Wish me luck, guys. I'm going to try and get it down to 1 episode because I know I took quite a lot, so we'll see how that works. This is Turn the Page. Remember, please, if you're listening to this on Spotify, please follow, give us a 5-star rating. Again, you don't have to read the books that we read for you to understand what we're saying. I would hope you enjoy anyways. And remember, it's 5 stars. 5 stars only, or else I will boss you. I will boss you. All right, peace out, people.
Bye. Listen for the voice notes.
Oh yeah, we're having voice notes. Yeah. Listen to our voice notes. Ditto. Bye. Okay, about this book, because I was able to finish it. It's actually a very quick read. How do I feel about this book? So far, I'm 92% in, and it's so funny. Every chapter is like time left in chapter 1 minute. Time left in chapter 1 minute. I don't. The sister their relationship frustrates me. I get the background, but the sister frustrates me. I think it'll be quite interesting doing an episode about this because there's not really, when you do plot points, I'm pretty sure it's going to be 1 episode, one and done, because what's the plot? Like, your sister's a serial killer, like your dad was abusive, stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to do plot points, but because it's, when, like, for example, like Piranesi is quite deep and intricate, whereas this one's not very. I don't know how I feel about this, but what would I rate it? I think, maybe not. Let me not say on the voice note because we're going to talk about it in the episode. But I don't know how I feel about this book. I feel a bit frustrated with everybody. Everybody in this book I'm frustrated with. I think that's the problem. It'll be so interesting to see how you feel about it.
Started the book, I'm like a quarter of the way through. Of course, it's a bit cliche. And of course the sister's light skin. She just dropped that in there. The main character's a bit of a bitch. She's kind of annoying. Like, so annoying. And then, what was that scene with the traffic warden person? Because I thought he was going to be a good, like, not a typical police officer. Then he just was a slimy, creepy guy at the very end. It's like, what the fuck? What was the point of that? But yeah.
It is a very quick read. Like, it is a quick read. And I do like the writing style, to be honest. I'm not too mad at her writing language. Like, it's not hard to read, basically. The content is another story.